All right, hello everyone. Miles here, and welcome to the second episode of the We're in This Together video series. I got my other guitar, my Epiphone Hummingbird here, and we're going to be talking about the song Try to Be Good today. This is one of my favorites off the EP. I love this song. I messed around with this song quite a bit when I first made it. With recording and stuff like that, and I'll get into all that in a bit. But yeah, this is one of my favorites off the EP for sure. I had a really good time recording it. When I was recording it, it's definitely different from a demo that I did back in 2019. I guess is when I kind of released that demo, more just to shows, gave it out to people really. But yeah. So, one big thing I guess to mention with this song is it wouldn't be around if it wasn't for my buddy Sean. He came over, this was back in 2018, and I was showing him some songs. I was showing him We're in This Together more specifically, and the capo was on the second fret because that's how We're in This Together is. It has the capo on the second. And anyway, I was showing him how to play that song, and yeah, he was playing a riff, and I don't know if I'm gonna play it exactly how he did it, but it was something like kind of like that. It's pretty much how the riff goes for "Try to Be Good." But he was playing this, and I loved it. I thought it was really good. So we kind of started messing around with it, and we decided to move the capo to the fourth instead, just to kind of make it all a little higher. And yeah, pretty much the song was sort of born from that. I kind of started messing around with that, and I treated the open like without using my palm, without palm muting. To someone who doesn't play guitar, palm muting is pretty much when you have your palm put it on the guitar and it's like, rather than open where it's like. So that's the difference. But anyway, so yeah, I would treat like the chorus as like this part here, and then I would do like the verses. It's just like a bit of palm muting there. So, and that was pretty much it. That's kind of what we messed around with that day. And like I said, that's sort of how the song was born. But that wasn't enough for me anyway. I wanted a little bit more to it. I felt like it was kind of boring, honestly, just playing the same riff for like a verse and a chorus. Like pretty much, I played that riff a lot throughout the whole song, of course. But I wanted to add to it a little bit. I didn't want to just have that riff as like the chorus. I wanted it to be kind of, I guess, like I wanted this part to be kind of more, like, I don't know if you'd call it a pre-chorus. Just, I wanted that riff to kind of stand out on its own, I guess. And then, yeah, so because I wanted to have a bit of a chorus part to it, I was just kind of messing around with chords as I do, to try and see what sounds good with it. And yeah, I decided to just go to an F. So it's like. So it's like F, C, and then G. Rather than playing the C and then like moving up to almost like a G or like a C over G. Yeah, or no, what is it? A G over C? I don't know. like I said in my last video, I don't have a lot of music knowledge behind me. I just play what sounds good and I just go with it. Anyway, yeah, so I got that chorus part down, and that was pretty cool. No lyrics or anything at this point. I just kind of got more of like the song itself and the music down more than anything first. And I started writing lyrics a little bit as this process was happening, just to kind of try and figure out what I wanted the song to be about, really, because I found the song to me sounded really happy. You know, like this riff, it's like. It's happy, right? Like it just has an uplifting sort of feel to it. So I wanted the song to be happy. Yeah, so, and then I should mention too, musically as well, there was a little bit of like a middle eighth, where in the recording it kind of turned into more of like, no, I wouldn't call it like a breakdown, but like it just, I don't know, a heavier middle eighth anyway, which I really like a lot. One day when I have a band or something like that, it'd be really cool to play this song and really just like rock out on that middle eighth. It's perfect for it, you know. I made it that way. I wanted it to be that way. But anyway, how it started out was just going to an A minor, just to kind of just throw a minor in there and just offset it a little bit. And it goes to a D after that, so it's like. And into an F. I wanted the ending there to kind of like, it's almost like a D with like the G there. Again, the cable's on the fourth, so all these chords are completely like not like, this isn't a D, this isn't a G, this isn't a C. It's something else. I don't really know what it is. I could figure it out, but anyway, it doesn't really matter. Well, I'm just talking about the chords as they are finger-wise anyway, how the position anyway. So yeah, so I had the edit on the D, and I wanted to kind of get that G in there, just to kind of like, it was a good transition back into the chorus. So it's like, and yeah, I wanted pretty much that middle eighth to just go right to the chorus, just jump right back in, not slow down. But pretty much the whole song has like a driving force to it, and that's what I wanted. I wanted the whole song. I didn't want any slow parts. I just wanted boom, 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 boom. And that's how it came about. Lyrically, the song is pretty simple. You listen to the lyrics, and that's exactly what the song's about. It's about trying to be good, trying to be a good person. Yeah, like I started the song off with the lyrics. Well, I see the hate you're spewing on everything you post. I know that it's so easy to hide behind your screen. And the reason I chose that is because at the time, and it's even still true right now, but at the time, I was just seeing so much hate on like Facebook specifically. It was gross, the amount of shit I was seeing from people that I knew, and I was just like, man, like, why even say these things? Like, if you don't have anything nice to say, why fucking say anything at all? Anyway, I was just kind of getting fed up with seeing it all, and just all the negativity, you know what I mean? I try and be a very positive, optimistic person, just in my life. So seeing all that negativity was really bringing me down, and I was just like, man, like this isn't cool. I don't like it. So that's kind of where the first bit of that song, or the first bit of the lyrics, came about. Because I always find, like, at least on social media anyway, it's easier to be hateful or be mean or whatever, because you're behind your screen, you know what I mean? You're not, I bet you some of the people that troll like other people a lot, they would not have the guts to fucking say what they say online to that person's face, if they were standing right in front of them talking to each other. No way. So and that's the thing, right? That's trolling for you, right? It's all behind a screen, so you have this almost like this shield, and you can just fucking say whatever you want. It doesn't matter, but it does matter. You know what I mean? Because the other person on the other side of that screen is just it could hit them in a certain way, right? In a very negative way. Anyway, so that's kind of where the first bit started, and then it just kind of goes into. The second verse is I'll never let reality mess with my head. I'll do what feels right, and I'll do it until I'm dead. Pretty self-explanatory there, because at the time, 2018 anyway, and I guess this kind of goes back to even 2016 and 2017, just seeing how the world is changing. I mean, I think the song even holds true now, with how things are now. It's crazy how quickly this world has changed. So the line "I'll never let reality mess with my head," it was just it's kind of literally that I won't let what's happening in the world, I guess, bring my mood down. You know what I mean? I have bad days just like everyone else, of course, right? But again, just kind of back to the song, I try and be a good person as best, as much as I can, every day. Even though when I have bad days, I try my best to just not let it affect my mood. And it's if I'm at work or something, I deal with people all day. I deal with the public all day at my job. And if I'm having a bad day, I can't really let it show. I have to just put on a face and do my job, right? But it's hard sometimes. I definitely let it show sometimes. Of course, you're human. I have bad days, and I definitely show it. But I found that when I do show it, and I have a situation where I maybe seem a little more irritable or something like that, I'll think about I'll catch myself doing it, and I'll try my best to not do it, and just try and just fucking don't worry about it. Just do your job. Just get this day over with. Go home, and then you can write a song or something, or play guitar and fucking get it all out. That's usually what I do. Just play guitar and it all just comes out. Anyway, so yeah, so that's pretty much the gist of the lyrics behind it. And actually, I should mention too, the third verse is some of my favorite lyrics. I was super stoked when I wrote these lyrics. We can change the way we see things. We can change the way we act. We can drop old bad habits and never look back. I love those lines. I don't know, that. I don't really know how they came about. It just sort of happened. I was just trying to figure out what to write for the third verse, and it just came out of me. And that's kind of how the chorus came too. I was listening. I had the music down, right? So I was listening to it in my car. I think I was waiting outside of a restaurant for my cousin and my uncle to show up. It was a Chinese restaurant in Chinatown. And I was just sitting in my car waiting for them to show up, and I had my phone open and listening to, I just briefly recorded myself playing the song. And I was listening to that chorus, and I was listening to it on repeat over and over and over again. I was trying to find the melody, you know what I mean? How I wanted the lyrics to go. And yeah, it just sort of came, with the verses and stuff that I've already written, the chorus just kind of hit at one point. It just clicked, and it's just try to be good now. And I wanted it to be more of an anthem, you know what I mean? I think it is, just the way it's written and the way the song goes. It definitely has that kind of anthem feel to it, in my opinion. But yeah, so like I said, that third verse, I was really stoked on those lyrics when I wrote them. They just kind of came out of nowhere. I don't really know where they came from, but yeah, I guess that's worth mentioning. I was really happy when I wrote those lyrics. Anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much the gist of the song. It's about trying just to be a good person, and the chorus, try to be good now. Don't let others bring you down. It's kind of going back to that second verse. Like never letting the world, change your like mood or whatever, or your perspective on life or whatever. Same thing with people. Not letting others bring me down, and that kind of ties into playing my songs live. For the very first time. For the longest time, I kind of like I've been playing for a long time. I played in a band when I was in high school and stuff, and I've been playing guitar even before that, like since like junior high school. And music has been a part of my life for a very long time, but only recently have I decided to actually like play shows and get out there and sing in front of an audience. And it was super nerve wracking when I first started doing it. I had just a couple songs, and I just went to some open mics and just did it. And I felt really great. The first open mic I ever did, I felt super good about it. I think I just brought my cousin Tyler. He's the only person who came, I'm pretty sure, for the first one. And that was at the Needle, when the Needle was still around, when the Needle was still a fucking thing. I miss that place so much. Anyway, yeah, so that lyric, don't let others bring you down, it just kind of ties into that, I guess, whole mindset of just like, fuck it, I want to do this, I want to share my music, I want to play, I want to get out there, and I'm nervous as fuck about it, but I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to get out there. I'm not going to care what anyone else thinks. And I'm just going to make it my own. You know what I mean? And just do my own thing. Do my thing. And if people like it, that's cool. If people don't like it, well, that's cool too. It doesn't really matter. I more so I'm just doing it for myself, just to do it. And that's the whole reason I even released this EP in the first place. Is it's 100% for me. It's not really for anyone else. It's 100% for me. I did it to prove something to myself. I did it to be proud of myself, and I am very proud of the EP. Yeah, I did it as a total ego boost for myself, really. Like, that's being honest. Like, that's why I fucking did it. Because I love it. I love it. I love music. I always have, and it's helped me in many, many ways. Mentally and stuff. So, yeah, it's a total, for me to play live and stuff. It was for selfish reasons, 100%. And I'm not ashamed to admit that. But at the same time, if my songs do resonate with people, and it makes them want to do what I'm doing, or like even these videos, if me explaining how I'm doing this sounds easy to you and you think you can do it, you should do it. You should, like, absolutely, 100%. Don't be scared to do it. Just do it. Just jump into it. It's kind of like when I started doing open mics. I was so nervous the first time I did it, but luckily I had my cousin there to kind of lean on a bit. But I was super nervous about it, even still. But I did it. I just jumped in. I was like, no, I have to do this. I can't live with the fact like that if I just I didn't even give it a try, because I was like nervous or scared to do it. I just wouldn't be able to live with myself. I had to do it, so I did, and I'm never looking back at this point. So yeah. That's kind of where that lyric comes from, and then doing the best you can. The last part of the chorus there, pretty self-explanatory there. Always just do the best that you can. Don't overcomplicate it in your head, especially for me. That's a lot of these lyrics are more like I'm almost like talking to myself. You know what I mean? Because I definitely do, like, I overthink everything. That's just how my brain works. If I'm thinking about something, I go overboard with it 100%. Just is what it is. I've always been like that. But, the biggest thing is, I guess, is just always do the best that you can, with what you have, with the tools that you have in front of you. So that's, yeah, pretty much the gist of the chorus there. And then going into recording. Recording the song was a lot of fun. I like I mentioned earlier in this video, I'd done a demo of this song. When I wanted to have something for my first show, which was back in 2019 in April. I wanted to have something to give out to people with my music on it. I didn't want to just play and then no one ever hears me again. You know what I mean? I wanted to give out something, so I recorded just some quick demos of my songs at the time. I Can't Say is on it. We're in This Together is on it. An acoustic version of Try to Be Good is on it, and also like sort of like a band version is on it. So going to that band version, it was my first sort of jump into like recording. The drums were done by Shane, who I mentioned in the last video. Is a really good friend of mine. We jammed quite a bit. We were in a band. We were in a band together in high school and stuff. We are very in sync with like our music. Like with when we play together and stuff. We know what each other are doing, and I like that a lot. Anyway, so he was on drums, and then I did everything else myself, like the bass, guitar, and the vocals, and I just kind of recorded the rest later. But like I said, I was a super novice at recording, and I didn't mix any of these songs or anything. Like I did I wouldn't even call it mixing, honestly. I just fucking messed with the levels, and that was about it. You know, maybe throw a little bit of EQ here and there, but that was about it. I didn't really do much. But yeah, one thing to mention about that demo. So when the chorus hit, whenever the chorus hit in that song, it was clipping. And clipping, if for anyone that doesn't record or doesn't know the lingo of recording, it's when the volume, I guess, of the track, it's like going overboard. It's you don't want to ever clip. The sound just dies 100%. And that's what was happening every time the chorus kicked in. You could just hear like me going try, and it was just like it was just a garbage. It was just a mess. And I didn't really have time to fix it because the show was coming up. I was like, fuck it, I just wanted to have something to give out to people. I really don't care, whatever. So yeah, but yeah, and the drums too. Unfortunately, the drums on this whole EP are finger drums. I did not have Shane play drums on the EP at all. Unfortunately, he has an electric kit. So on the demo of Try to Be Good, it was just a one track kind of input. Like it was all the drums were on one track, and I had to sort of play with that track and mess with the EQ to get certain things to come out, and had to bring up the bass to get so you could hear the kick a little more. But it was all on one track, and that's not the proper way to record drums. You want everything on separate tracks so you can mess with every little thing, right? But anyway, that's all I really knew at that point was, I could plug him right into my interface, hit record, and there it is. Then that's it. And I was happy with that at the time. But for the EP, I took it a little more seriously, obviously, right? So I didn't, because I didn't want to spend the money on renting like new equipment, because I wouldn't have bought any equipment. I would have just rented it. But anyway, I didn't really want to spend the money on renting it and then renting all the mics and then like setting it all up. Yeah, like if you've never recorded a drum kit before, it's not the easiest thing to do when you're first starting out recording. I will eventually get there. I do want to record a drum kit. I want to try it. Of course. So when the time comes when I'm ready to rent some mics and rent a bigger interface, so I have all the inputs I need, I'll do it eventually. Because yeah, that's the only way I'm going to learn, in my opinion. That's how I learned. Like just trial and error with everything else is how I learned how to record myself anyway. So, but yeah, so at the time of recording this EP anyway, I didn't want to do that. I had a little drum machine, Um, it's not a MIDI controller. It wasn't a MIDI controller is like um, you could pretty much like there's different plugins on your recording software on your computer, and different instruments and stuff like that in those plugins, and or like instrument plugins, I guess. Anyway, and you have a MIDI keyboard and you hit a key and it's either a kick or you have synth or whatever. There's so many options. Anyway, my drum machine was just strictly a drum machine, and it came with preloaded drum sounds. So that's the only sounds I used for the whole EP. I didn't use any MIDI or anything on this EP because I actually could not get MIDI working with Pro Tools at the time, and that's the software that I use is Pro Tools, and I could not get MIDI working. So I just used this drum machine. I literally used an a regular patch cable, something like this, you typically use for your guitar. Literally just plug that right into my interface, plug the other end into the drum machine, and away I went. And I just recorded the sounds that came out of the drum machine. So, and I think they sounded actually pretty good. Like for a drum machine, I mean, it's a drum machine, so they're gonna sound like drums, And in my opinion, they sound actually pretty decent. And plus, of course, I mess with them during the mixing stages and stuff. But yeah, so it was all finger drums, and that's how the drums came out for the whole EP and for this song. Pretty much the recording process. I recorded a scratch track of me playing my guitar, playing the song on the guitar, and to a tempo. Since I wasn't using MIDI in Pro Tools, now that I've used MIDI a little bit and I've messed around with it, it's super like if you have everything set up to a click track, which is like your tempo, you can just literally copy and paste like your drum. Like if you have a drum loop or whatever, you can just copy and paste and boom, boom, boom throughout the whole song and make it super easy. It's incredibly easy to do. So I wish I had a MIDI. I wish I used a MIDI when I was recording. But yeah, so where was I going with that? Anyway, so yeah, so I had a tempo, or I figured out the tempo of the song, recorded the guitar to it, and then and as best I could, because I wanted to make sure the drums were like on time, as best I could anyway, and then I recorded the drums to the guitar. And then I just re-record the guitar after, a little more proper, because the scratch track was literally just one mic boom, and I just wanted to hear the song, you know what I mean? So I recorded the drums, and yeah, honestly, I know maybe some people don't notice it, but I notice it 100%. There are times where my songs not just try to be good, but the rest of the songs, there are some times where the drums are just not on key, like on tempo. I mean, like they're a little off, and I tried to edit that as best I could when I was editing, but there's only so much you can do, and yeah, I mean, I guess I could have re-recorded. Anyway, like I did re-record a lot. Like drums, honestly, was so fucking tedious because what I did to record drums for all these songs, except for I Can't Say, of course, was so because I wanted each thing on a separate track, like a kick on a separate track, and then a snare on a separate track, the cymbals on a separate track. No toms. Actually, there's funny to mention, there's no toms on the whole EP because the toms that were in that drum machine, I thought they sounded like complete shit. I did not like the sound of them at all, so I decided to not use toms at all throughout the whole EP. So it's literally when it's snare fills. It's snare fills the whole time to get to like the next section. You listen to it now, like listen to the EP, you'll hear it. It's just fucking snare fills the whole time, which is fine. Whatever. I think it sounds good. I made it work with what I had, right? Anyway, so yeah, so what I did is I would sit there and hit record and just hit the kick drum, just boom, 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 for the whole song, and make sure, and I timed it right, and man, that was so tedious. I can't tell you how tedious that was to just literally just sit there with one finger, just boom, 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 listening to the song, just making sure that I'm on time. And if, oh, I messed up, fuck, well, get back to a certain section, re-record it. Or sometimes just fucking do the whole thing again. Honestly, it was just so tedious. And then a snare, same thing. Snare, snare, snare. Like kick, snare, kick, snare, kick, snare. It was ridiculous. But that's how I did it. And that's, yeah, that was the option I had at the time. So, and same with the cymbals and all that too. But yeah, so that's how I record the drums. Just each individual track is kick on one, snare on the other, cymbals on the other. I think I'd split the cymbals up as well too. Like crashes on one, and anyway. But yeah, so and then the bass, I used, actually Shane bought this bass. Shane bought this bass at a auction. I don't, what is it? It's a G. Burton bass. And it's actually super nice. He bought it for $40. No sticker on it there. And it sounds great, in my opinion. I did use a bass like plug-in or amp on Pro Tools to kind of give it a little more meat. But yeah, it actually sounds pretty good, in my opinion. So that's what I use for the bass. And then for the guitars, I have electric guitars, of course, so I use those. But the guitars are a funny thing to mention, or to get into, because I could not find the tone I wanted. For the electric guitars, because so for the demo, it was all just like power chords, and there was no capo on the electric. It was all just like power chords, which is power chords to someone who doesn't play guitar is like pretty much 3 notes. It's a chord, but it's like a really simple chord, and it's like a lot of like punk songs, usually rock and roll, like that sort of thing. It's just like, so anyway, but that's how the demo was anyway, because I just did power chords at the time. I thought that sounded good. Anyway, when I went to record the EP, I did not like the way they sounded. Like after listening to that demo, I was just like, I'm not really a big fan of that at all. So I used an electric guitar, and I put the capo on the 4th, and I literally just played the riffs or the chords that I play on the acoustic guitar, but on electric, and I just kind of finger picked like. That's what I did for the electric guitar. But yeah, like I was saying, I could not find the right tone. I used a plugin on Pro Tools, and there's one. It's called 11. It's called 11 Free. It's like a free amp, I guess, that you can use on Pro Tools. But if I recorded too many tracks of that 11 Free amp, it would like hiss, and it would hiss throughout the whole song. Like pretty much once I got to like 3 tracks, it would just hiss, and it pissed me off so bad. I couldn't figure it out. It was aggravating. I didn't know what I was doing wrong. I looked it up. There's like nothing on the forums to talk about like what's happening. They said, oh, it's probably an issue with your guitar, and it wasn't an issue with my guitar, because I plugged it into my amps and stuff, and totally fine, nothing wrong. So I was like, why is this happening? As soon as I get to like a 3rd track, it all just fucks up. But then there's this other guitar like virtual amp that I could use, and it was totally fine. I could do as many tracks as I wanted. Would never start hissing, nothing like that. So I had to stick with that at the time. And I was like, okay, whatever. It is what it is. And but like I said, I wasn't a huge fan. I couldn't find the tone I wanted. So I eventually, after pretty much the EP was like almost finished being recorded, like the whole thing was almost finished being recorded, and I actually went and re-recorded all the guitars to try and be good using a SM57 is the instrument mic. The Shure SM57, I think, or SM58. I can't remember now. Instrument mic from Shure. It's standard, like industry standard. Like everyone uses it pretty much. And I just use that. I hooked it up to my amp, or like put the mic right to my amp, sort of thing, and just played it that way. And it actually, in my opinion, turned out really good. I like the way it sounds. For We're in This Together, I guess I could wait to talk about this when that video comes. But anyway, I ended up actually using the virtual amp for We're in This Together, because I think that sounded good for the song. But for Try and Be Good, I use my actual amp. It's a Marshall half stack. Yeah, I love it. It sounds awesome. It's like my favorite thing. Yeah, so I use that, and that's how the guitars came out. And yeah, and then like I said, for that middle eighth, I wanted it. It just so happened I was messing around with the song itself, like with the chorus. I was like maybe thinking of like doing like as a chorus, but then I was like, nah, like like I want it to be fuller, and having the palm mutes in there doesn't really help that. You know what I mean? I wanted the chorus to be like boom, and having palm mutes in it just didn't make sense. But for the middle eighth, though, instead of just playing like I said, it was an A minor, D, and then it goes F and C. Is pretty much the chords. But yeah, instead of just like just like strumming, like I think I would have done, like, because if my acoustic was this, it was I would have maybe done, like, for the guitar, I would have maybe come like something like that. I don't know. Anyway, so but I didn't. Instead of doing that, I thought, okay, well, this would be a good time to implement sort of like a kind of like heavy sort of riff. So instead, I did the same chords, but I used palm muting. So it sounds like this. I played it. I kind of fucked up there, but you get it. So that's how the middle eighth goes with the electric guitar. Anyway, with the acoustic guitar, I still kind of just play open. But yeah, definitely for the electric, I wanted that just like it's kind of a driving force to it, and I think I pulled it off. But yeah, that's pretty much just the song. When it came to mixing, I spent a lot of time on it because this was the first song. I think this was the first song I mixed, actually, too, for the whole EP. I think that I started with "Try to Be Good." I can't remember, but it's a full band sort of deal, right? So I looked up a ton of YouTube videos on how to do it, and luckily there's this one channel, like literally the guy uses Pro Tools and mixes songs, and I literally just saw what he was doing and copied what he was doing. It was great. So yeah, I went and watched those videos and just implemented them to my own song, and yeah, I was completely stoked on how they turned out. Yeah, I was really happy after I finished mixing "Try to Be Good" specifically. I was pretty stoked on how it all turned out. So yeah, that's pretty much the song. That's pretty much everything I can really tell you about it. Again, it's one of my favorites. I really like the message behind it. The whole EP has a lot of positive kind of messaging songs on it. So, and this is definitely one of them. And I really like the way it turned out. That's why I decided to choose that song as like kind of like the single when the one that was on the release radar on Spotify and stuff like that, because I felt like, because since We're in This Together was already out and everyone's already heard that, I thought this was a good follow up for the EP to show everyone. And, I hope you guys agree. So yeah, I will play it for you now. I'm going to take a quick sip of beer here. And I see that we're going into 40 minutes here, so I'm sorry, guys. Like I said in the last video, if I love something, I tend to just talk about it for a very long time. I don't think I rambled off too much, though. Anyway, thank you if you watched up until now, thank you so much for getting to the 40-minute mark. This is Try to Be Good. That you're spewing on everything you post, and I know that it's so easy, yeah, to hide behind your screen. And with all the things we've been through and all the things we've done, we're repeating the past that just can't last behind the barrel of a gun. And no, I'll never let reality mess with my head. And I'll do what feels right. I'll do it till I'm dead. Because we've got a chance to make it work out. We've got a chance to change. So don't ever stop trying, no matter how strange. So try to be good now, and don't let others bring you down. There's the choice in your hands now, so always do the best that you can. And we can change the way we see things, we can change the way we act, and we can drop old bad habits and never look back. Cause yeah, the choice is in your hands now, so always do your best and take pride in who you are and help out the rest. So try to be good now, and don't let others bring you down. Cause the choice in your hands now, so always do the best that you can. So try to be good now, and don't let others bring you down. Cause the choice in your hands now, so always do the best that you can. That was fun. So that was Try to Be Good. Thanks again so much for tuning in, guys. Sorry about the length. We're at 45 minutes now, but hey, I hope you guys enjoy me talking for 45 minutes about my song. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. If you've got this far, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, if this, like I was saying too, if this somehow inspires you to do something creative that you love to do, I encourage you to do it 100%. Don't sit back and wait for it to happen. Just you got to go out there and do it, and make it your own. Anyway, thanks so much for tuning in, guys. And next week will be Off My Mind. Next week will be Off My Mind, which is the only song on this whole EP that I have not played live at a show. It's the only song. So it's kind of like the newer song of the EP. Anyway, that will be next week, Friday. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in. And I'll talk to you next week. Peace out.